All right. Good morning, Center for Spiritual Living, Palm Desert, and friends all over the world. We're so grateful to be with you this morning. As you can see, I am joined by the lovely, talented Reverend Dale. Oh my goodness, Slansky.
Oh, I love that.
Here today, I love playing off of words. And oh my goodness, Lansky.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Thank you.
How are you?
I am great. How are you today?
I'm
Happy
very good.
Monday. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. I'm better than I've been in a long time because my family finally arrived down here for good. I know.
Yay.
Just yesterday. So I'm a new man. I am joyful, and it feels like a big missing piece is now put back together. And so I'm grateful for that.
Oh, I'm happy for all of you. That's just great. Wow. Congrats.
It's good. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, it is.
And happy Monday to all, wherever you are. We're so grateful to have you here. As you can see, my guest today, my partner in crime and spiritual crime today, as we steal away all those negative thoughts and stagnation and all that kind of stuff, is Reverend Dale Olansky. Thanks for being with me today, so that our community can get to know you a little bit better. Yeah.
Thank you for inviting me. I'm so thrilled to be here now. This is my first official Reverend presentation with our community. So I'm honored. Thank you.
So for those that are playing along at home, the ministerial graduates who graduated in June. Is that when you graduated? Was it June?
Yeah, we finished in June. Yeah.
In June. And then you did your oral panels in July.
No, that was all in June. By June 5th or 6th, we had paneled and we were all confirmed as ministers.
Oh, okay. Okay. So as of August 1st, they received their letters of call. We had to go through some back and forth about that whole thing, but it's official now. So this is Reverend Dale Olansky. And do you feel different? Did you wake up on August 1st, feel like a new woman? Tell us about the process.
Oh, it was so strange because from being told you're a minister through after we paneled and all that good stuff, and then just needing to wait a certain period of time till we were confirmed at our center, it was sort of just a weird dichotomy of, well, yeah, I'm a minister, but not yet really recognized at my center. So it was something to kind of just sit with it and grow into. But I'm telling you, this whole minister path for me is, even though I've got the REV, I still feel like and you talk about this, I feel like I'm just beginning to grow into whatever this is for me. So I feel the same, but I don't feel the same. It's kind of a strange, odd territory. But for me, what the greatest thing is the achievement of it all, because it was, as you know, it's such hard work, and you're kind of just, you've got all these assignments and you're just trying to, get everything done, finish it all up. And then when it's done, it's like I look back and I go, wow, I got a lot accomplished these last 2 years. So it's a great journey.
Love it. Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. And so, as we know, the point of this is to get to know Reverend Dale better as a community and her as a minister now. So if anybody out there has any questions for Reverend Dale, please type them in the comment section. Questions, comments. We'll see where this puppy goes. So you're back. Tell us about your background. Are you still a practicing Jew? You're from the Jewish, but so just tell us about your history a little bit.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. So I was raised in a conservative Jewish family, and I went to Hebrew school. I was bat mitzvahed. I went to confirmation. And so I had a really solid Jewish background and upbringing. Even though I always say we were not kosher, my mom loved cheeseburgers and bacon. So we did not have the restriction. I'm so glad about that, because my mom was raised in an fairly Orthodox household, and she had to be raised Jewish or kosher, and she did not like it. So we were given the opportunity to not, and I loved it. But so I was raised steeped in Judaism. And then when I got to be in my my early adulthood, like 18, 19, 20, I really turned my back on it. And primarily because my grandmother, who was so devout, she developed cancer and died. And my spiritual my spiritual mind was not very mature, and I like was mad at God and all that stuff. So I turned away from Judaism, and that set me forward on my path of finding out more about other ways of seeing God, of being able to. I studied Buddhism and Taoism because I those just resonated for me. I really did not want to be involved in dogma. So, but where I am today, what's really cool is I came full circle, and after being in Science of Mind, I was really able to appreciate my Jewish roots and my Jewish heritage, because I really did develop a spirituality from the Jewish tradition. Aside from the dogma and all that, I did find that connection with God, because in Judaism, they do teach of the oneness with God. So I was steeped in, there is only one God, and it's within you. So I had that strong foundation. So coming full circle here, I can really appreciate where I've come from, and I can read it metaphysically now too, which is super cool. But I am not really, I wouldn't be considered an active Jew. I go to temple once in a while with my sister at the high holidays. We'll go together, but I don't follow any of the rituals or any of that stuff.
Mm-hmm. So you alluded to it a little bit. Can you talk a little bit more about how does Judaism dance with Science of Mind?
Well, like I said, you've got the oneness of God and you've got the personal relationship with spirit. So that's really great. And a lot of what's been really fun for me is the center has given me an opportunity, as you know, is to present a lot of the Jewish holidays through a metaphysical eye. So and I love how you're really into metaphysically interpreting the Bible as well. And so it's really allowed me to just see how these stories really are about expansion of consciousness. That's how I've been reading them through different authors that interpret the Bible metaphysically, and to be able to see Judaism as really about the ultimate thing is knowing of your oneness with God. That's really where it's at, and to rise above materialism and above separation, and just seeing the oneness of all life, and that kind of what do they call it, the covenant with God, how that's like where everything is. And so for me, and bringing that into Science of Mind, it just shows that number one is God, and number one is your understanding what God is. And so that's what's allowed me, I think, in Science of Mind to be really strong going into it.
Love it. Love it. So speak about that, your relation, your understanding, or your relationship with God. How does that occur for you? What is your relationship with that presence? What do you call it? God? Is it God to you? Okay.
I love the word God. I love the word spirit. And as you know, the class that our teacher in ministerial training, Dr. James Mellon, he pulled God into a whole new understanding for me, which is seeing ourselves as spirit. And when he first talked about it with me, it was really, it was odd to me, because it was a whole new way of seeing God. And I felt like that's irreverent, and how can we believe that? But the way that he explained it resonated for me, to just see ourselves as that allness of God, kind of like Rumi says that we are the ocean in a drop of water, that we are all of it. And so it's really allowed me to see that allness of life that I am, that I call God, is always present, is everything that I am. And even though I'm having this experience here on earth, it's still all God, and I am all that it is. So that's kind of where I rest my consciousness in. But to be honest with you, it's something that my understanding of spirit, and me as an expression of it, it's something that isn't just stuck in one place. It's continually evolving and continually deepening for me. So it's something that has a fluidity to it, because there's just more to experience with that God nature. And that's one of the exciting things I think about our philosophy and life in general.
Love it. Love it. So help me out with something, because I get a little self-conscious about this. Is it to say, are you a practicing Jew, rather than do you participate with the Jewish tradition? Or, is there a negative or any sort of derogatory something about saying, are you a Jew or Jewish?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, and it really depends on your tonality and the context. But I don't find it insulting. And if anybody says, "Are you a Jew or are you Jewish?" that's a good question, and I don't mind that at all.
Yeah, right on.
Yeah.
Cool. Because I mean, it's likely I'll get a piece of mail letting me know. By the way, I love feedback from people. I love constructive criticism. But please put your name to it, would you? Please sign your name if you want to say something. Sign your name to it, because there could be an explanation. There could be a conversation that can come out of it that could benefit both of us. So if I love criticism, I love constructive feedback, but I invite you to put your name to it.
I
Amen.
like that. I like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, because we can't, how can we have a conversation to break through misunderstanding if we don't have a name and a phone number
A
or
name and
email address?
a willingness to actually have a constructive conversation about something.
Yeah,
So be aware of that too as you get into ministry. Folks will want
I
to.
know.
Hey, there's a couple comments that have come in here, Dale, Reverend Dale. Just 1 second. Let's see. Popular Legend says, "Congratulations, Dale."
Thank you, popular legend.
I love that. You're becoming a popular legend, Reverend Dale.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Give us an interesting fact about you. Something not many folks know. Quick pop quiz, Reverend Dale style.
Okay. Oh, when I grew up in Los Angeles, and my big dream was to become an actress. That's what I thought I was going to be. And I actually tried to get into the industry when I was 16, because my mom told me, she goes, when you're 16 and you can drive, we'll get you an agent and you can have at it. So that's, nobody knows about that. And I have a little portfolio. I think it's like this page that has these goofy pictures of me, but I have that, and it reminds me of my old dream. And but not a lot of people know that I tried. I did not make it. I didn't really have the training to be an actress, and I think it was more of just something that because I was so needy for attention as a child, I thought it was more of just being in the limelight rather than actually the craft of acting. So it was something I did for a couple of years, never landed a commercial, and that was the end of that.
Jeff, I think we need to pre-screen to make sure next time we have pictures. These pictures that Reverend Dale's talking about.
Yeah.
We need to have
God.
pictures in so that we can pop them up in the middle of the show. Okay.
Good idea. Oh, they're so funny.
We missed that one. Well, how long did you pursue that?
Just for a couple of years. And I took some acting lessons at a little place in Studio City and did what I could. But after a couple of years, I think it was 16, when I was about 18 years old, I was in another place and I moving in a different direction. And I didn't want to pursue it any further.
Right on.
Yeah.
So what winds your clock other than ministry? What gets you going? What do you ski, snowboard, water ski, hike? Have you ever jumped out of an airplane?
No, I never will. I am sorry. It's just not my, I don't. And I'm proud to say, no, I will not. That's okay. No, I do like hiking. I'd love to do that with friends. What else do I love to do? I love to read and I love to write. Writing is a real passion. And right now I'm finding my love is creating classes. I'm going through this creative burst of making classes that are spiritually expansive. And I just finished one called Path to Inner Freedom, and people loved it. And it was all just creative, my own thing coming together to build something for people that allowed them to really get tuned into what was limiting them in life. So that's my passion right now. That's what really is winding my clock right now, is just expanding my teaching, because I love to be a teacher. And I'm finding, I've always loved it, but it's getting even bigger now. It's because I think just because of where I am in my growth.
Sure.
Yeah.
So the Path to Inner Freedom, you taught that in July, right? For four weeks.
Yeah. Yeah. 4 weeks.
Tease us with what else you're working on?
Yes, I will. Absolutely. I got 2 more that are working. I'm working out. One is spiritual resilience. Because of this time that we're walking through, I want to teach a class on how to find that spiritual core. And I'm going to teach people, certain tools that they can use to develop a stronger spiritual groundingness, and kind of talk about how do you walk through all this uncertainty with a calm heart. So I'm so excited too, because it's just coming out of nowhere. I'm also going to do an inner child class, but it's going to be not your classic inner child class where you nurture the wounded child. It's going to be letting the child out to play. So I want to have a different focus on that because I know a lot of people, inner child work was so, it's like cliche almost. So I want to invite people to find that part of themselves, because it really is a vital part of ourselves, but to find it, but with more of a fun, exciting curiosity, rather than this, oh my God, I have to go relive 9 years old again and be crippled because I can't handle it. No, we're gonna have fun with it. So,
who wants to do that over and over?
God, I know. How many more times do I have to go there? Right? Enough's enough.
Love it. We've got a couple more comments coming in, Dale. That sounds like a lot of fun, actually. I think, you know, the inner child. So, I mean, letting the inner child out to play, that sounds like a lot of fun.
Right? Yeah.
Let's see. Popular legend. Dale, can you tell us about your daily spiritual practices? What is your daily spiritual practice?
My daily spiritual practice, I meditate and I do journaling and I pray every day. That's what I do. Right now, I'm doing this really great, it's Adi Ashanti, and he's got a 30-day mindfulness or awareness challenge. And every day you take, it's like a 7-minute talk about just developing that kind of greater awareness. And so that's now part of my spiritual practice. So, and I do my spiritual practices in the morning. I really like to settle into that just to get my day started. And I love it. It keeps me grounded. It gets my head on straight. And I also have a gratitude journal that I have like to do in the morning, like everything I'm grateful for. And my most recent gratitude is my air conditioning, because it was broken last week. And I can't tell you, it's like the little things, like yesterday and the day it got fixed on Saturday afternoon. And so yesterday I was just at home and I was just like, oh my God, it's so nice not to be in a sauna anymore. It was just a delight. But those are my spiritual.
I don't know that that's a little thing, living in the desert.
Right. It is. But for spiritual practices, even though I talk about, I have this morning thing I do, I like just saying that every day, all day long is an opportunity for spiritual practice. So I remind myself, if I'm doing something mundane, like doing the dishes, I like to pull a little spiritual something in, whether I meditate or contemplate something, because spirituality and spiritual practices are about weaving in that awareness all day long, not just at 8 o'clock in the morning or before you go to bed at night. It's an all day kind of thing. So I try to do my best to be mindful of going to that place.
Cool. Love it. That morning, getting the day off started off right. It's a good thing to do, huh?
Oh,
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah. And, some people, anything you can do, if it's to take a walk, just to commune, I know people think, well, God, you do all that stuff. Well, you don't have to do anything. If you just take a moment to be silent and go within and find that God place inside yourself, that's a spiritual practice. It doesn't have to be complicated.
I love that. When I was first kind of starting out on the spiritual walk, everything seemed so significant, so regimented and significant. It's got to be a certain way. And I realized that it's got to be your way, period.
Totally. Yeah. These are just guides, really. And the same thing with prayer, I know we teach, and I love the 5-step prayer. It's a great process, but people, we're teaching the practitioners right now, the interns, how to pray. And we're really getting into it in a deeper way now. But, I see their consciousness, and all of them have a great consciousness, and they're already there. They can already drop in and know the truth and all that stuff. And it breaks my heart a little bit, because like they might screw up a step or forget this or say will, and then they get all heartbroken and they think they're not doing it right. And I have to take a step back and out of the region and just go, you know what? They're knowing the truth, and really, isn't that what's going to demonstrate? So it's there, it's that connecting with it your way and just knowing that's effective. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's one of the, I think, for all of us, for you listening, if you're a practitioner, student or not, and I love what you just said, Reverend Dale, that it's really about the communion. It's about the relationship that I think sometimes we take prayer on as a performance, rather than an act of a movement of consciousness and internal communion. So we know that we are a living expression of the presence and power and love of God.
Exactly.
Rather than the show that you're putting on to sound or look good.
Exactly.
So many people say that, how did it sound, or how did it, because we do have a form to our affirmative prayer, which is the 5 steps. And so we want to get those right, but I think it prevents us from having that real love affair sometimes.
I totally agree with you. Yeah. Yep. And I try and teach them that every time we have. Some people say, well, what does the person need to hear? And I keep saying, it's not about what they need to hear. It's what you need to know. That's it. So it's interesting. It's interesting trying to get people to that understanding.
Yeah. Love it.
Yeah.
Someone else said, Reverend Dale, let's see. You are a wonderful, congratulations, Reverend Dale, from classmates. Adair says, Dale, you are a wonderful speaker. No ums. Did you do Toastmasters or ... question mark?
No, I did nothing. This is one of, you know, we all have our natural abilities, and I've just always, I've always had that knack. I just had that knack. I had parents who did a little bit of public speaking, so it may be like an osmosis thing. And when I was a little girl, I was chosen to speak all the time. So I think it's just something I was kind of gifted with.
Cool.
Yeah.
Throw an in there next time, just to keep us up.
She is human. She is human. Very human.
Last holiday season, I think it was this last December, you did the Rappin' Jew, right?
I did. I talk about just taking a risk. That's worse than jumping out of an airplane. Seriously.
That's totally not your personality. So really, no, it's not. I mean,
no. Well, some people saw that I could. That didn't surprise them. Most people, like Dr. Joe, was floored by it. He was like, "Who are you?" But some people that know me said, "Yeah, I could see you doing something like that." So it just depends. But it was, you know what, I have to tell you, it was so cool taking a risk like that and just playing and having fun with it. And I was so grateful. It really came off pretty good for a first time rapper, right?
I loved it. I mean, I was informed, but totally entertained the entire time. You know, just I was laughing. I was like, it was
right.
But you brought all sorts of historical information into it as well.
I
right?
Sure did. I taught the story, and and I had fun with it too. So yeah, it was a great deal of fun. And you know, I've really been charging myself this year to letting go of so much restriction and conformity, and letting that inner, you know, the inner fun person just really come out to play in what I do spiritually as a leader. So, and I love the freedom. It's really cool, really fun.
Someone said, what was the first album? What is that referring to? What, did I miss something? What was the first album? We happen to have this video. Oh, the video, The Rappin' Jew, is that?
Oh God.
Can we put it up?
We can't.
Is there any way to make that happen, Jeff? Can we find The Rappin' Jew and watch it right now?
From the second service, not the first one. Oh God, here it comes.
Reverend Dale.
Oh, where to find a rapping Jew? Oh God.
Oh yeah.
Holy cow. Oh God.
Turn it up, people.
And this is my first rap. So I've got my words here. I got the band. Let's hit it.
This is great.
Oh God.
Here's a little story about Judah Maccabee, a courageous Jewish warrior from the 2nd century. Can we slow down the tempo a little bit? I got it. That's too fast. I got a lot of words and perfect. Thank you. You guys are so great. Here's a little story about Judah Maccabee, a courageous Jewish warrior from the 2nd century. Judah and his rebels had really had enough of the Greek armies take over and destroying all their stuff. I got a career, don't I? If ministry doesn't work out, I'll be a Jewish rapper. All right, let's go on with the story. He led this ragtag army against his mighty foe, but God was in their corner, so the Greek army did go. The temple was a shambles, false idols everywhere. The Maccabees did clean up, Adonai was everywhere. Adonai means God. To purify the temple required holy light, but there was enough oil to last throughout the night. But a miracle did happen. The light burned for 8 days. The temple was restored, and the Maccabees did praise. The moral of the story is when life gets really rough, there's a power that's within you that makes you really tough. That power is God Almighty. It will never let you down. You are its expression, and your life can turn around. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Did you like that? You had no idea what I was going to do.
That is so far out of your comfort zone.
Isn't it? I know.
I mean, it was like, I'm thinking, wow, that was amazing. That's Riverdale already.
Oh my God.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Rappin' Jew.
Oh my. But you know,
my-
look what happens when you take a risk, right? Good things happen.
Good things happen when you take a risk. Come in here, say hi to everybody. There she
Hello.
is.
Oh, are you happy to be with Dad?
Yeah.
Oh, she's such a cutie.
You are a cutie. That right back here, I'm just so entertained and so hard that right behind my ears, my head hurts.
Isn't that funny?
Oh, wasn't that great? And the store. Okay, we've got comments. Here we go.
Uh-oh.
Let's see. Oh, okay. Gleeful Local wants to know from you, what is your, oh, we got a lot coming in. Popular Legend says, Reverend Dale, who are your inspirations besides MC Hammer? Okay, hold on a second. What is your vision for your work as a reverend? Do you have a special area of ministry where you'd like to focus?
Yeah, you know, I've got a couple different parts of me that I love small group work. I love working with groups of people and doing that kind of expansion and people dialoguing with each other. Way in my future, well, I shouldn't say way, someday in my future, I want to do retreat centers because you may not know this about me, but I've been doing an annual women's retreat where I have a lovely friend of mine who is an extraordinary chef, and she does the cooking. Yeah, oh, it's so amazing. She does the cooking and I do the spiritual workshop stuff, and they've been just amazing. So that's something I'd like to grow more as well. And, you know, I love serving at our center. I mean, I've got a very fulfilling spiritual leader life, to be quite honest with you. So these are kind of the areas that are really meaningful to me. And my one-on-one work, I love, 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 love working with people one-on-one. So that is that's my banquet of stuff, and that just growing more, I guess, into that and serving. And because our center, I mean, having you come in, and also with this COVID thing, because there's so much newness to me, I just kind of want to be open and serve wherever it's best for me to serve at our center right now too. So it's kind of a mystery in times. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you tend to our practitioner team as well, and the practitioner students, what they're called interns now in their second year, right? So you, Dr. Laura, you nurture our practitioner body.
Yes.
The healing arm of our center.
Yeah.
Along with pastoral care, you do that.
Yeah, yeah. Which oddly enough, we have barely anybody on our pastoral care list right now. So our center as a whole, because this is what happens when you have this kind of consciousness. I see that we're all just knowing health and wholeness and wellness through this, because it's extraordinary what we're hearing from our congregation as well.
Amen. Yep.
Yeah.
All right, we've got a few more questions. Let's see. MC Dale. That is classic. Namaste, Reverend Dale. What record you bought? Been waiting a long time to say, all hail Reverend Dale, Adair said.
Look at these people. I love it.
No, let's see. Dale, you are one in a million, and I appreciate all that you do for others, says Joyful Traveler. And Russ and D, what is the little c in RSCP?
RSC means religious science. So that's what that means. And P is practitioner. So.
Yep, exactly.
Yep.
So the little c is for science.
Science, yeah, SC.
And then who asked, who are your mentors, I think is the question here. Who are you? Don wants to know who your mentors are.
Well, my living mentors, Dr. Maxine Kay, who used to be the assistant pastor at our center. I always say she taught me everything I know. And she would say, no, I just revealed that which was already there. It's like, stop it, just take the credit. I love you. You taught me how to connect here. She taught me how to be a practitioner. And she, when you're becoming a practitioner, there's just this part of you that has to really crack open, because like you said, Reverend Charles said, you've got this thing where you think you need to perform, and then you get frustrated because you can't say things right. And so I would tell her, I'd go, I don't feel like I can get to that place. And she would just keep reminding me, just open up and let it come, shut off your mind. And one day it absolutely clicked. So she's one of my biggest mentors, and she was just such an inspiration. She's kind of old school. There are people that have been around in religious science, and she's very old school. She studied with some of the greats. And so I was very blessed to have her, because that kind of came through to me. And another living mentor, obviously Dr. Joe, he has taught me everything about how to run a center and how to make great decisions, and how to just take that step back from getting really reactive with stuff, and how to think things out in a bigger way. And I'm so, because that was sort of like somebody teaching me without it having to be a class I was in. It was just on the job training, and just by being with him in board meetings and talking to him about situations that were coming up, he just guided me so beautifully to be a really great decision maker. And my other biggie right now is Dr. James Mellon, because his class was so powerful in that he was more concerned about your consciousness. Yeah, we had to learn about how to give a talk and how to create a class and all that stuff, but he was so anchored in consciousness. And his thing was, you've got to be who you are. You cannot be what people want you to be. He goes, you've got to be the authentic, and that's it. And just get tuned into that. So I was really blessed. He was like the perfect mentor for me for being a minister, because I really didn't want to have to learn so much about how to do. I wanted to learn how to be. And he taught all of us that. If you saw, how amazing everybody is. So yeah, some of my mentors that are no longer with us would probably, like the teachers of New Thought. I absolutely love Emma Curtis Hopkins. She's like one of my peeps. I love Emmett Fox, Ernest Holmes, obviously the man himself. I love Raymond Charles Barker, and I think those are my biggies. That's kind of like those are my big people that influenced me.
Love it. Awesome. Yeah. And it's good. Sometimes we don't think that a mentor can be someone that's already passed along. Certainly the ones that are here, we can have interaction and dialogue, and they can challenge us and we can challenge back. And there's a formative dialogue that happens there. And then there's our teachers, who aren't here any longer, but we get so much consciousness pouring into us from them when we read Dr. Holmes and things like that. Yep. Yeah. All right. I think a bunch more comments coming in here. I got to help open the cheese real quick.
Open the cheese, Daddy.
Yeah, here we go. Let's see. Who are your mentors? Ellen Owens says, Dale, you are truly an inspiration. Thank you, Ellen. And let's see. Guest says, it was great. I loved it. It was great. I loved it too. Okay, we're opening the cheese. Let's see here. You ever had a deep, dark night of the soul?
More than one. I love transparency. When I was 16 going on 17, I had a dark night of the soul, and boy, was it dark.
Supposed to be rap. Can you rap that, please?
Oh no, oh God, geez. Sorry, I went into my Julie Andrews. My mother must be visiting me right now.
Great.
I got anorexic really seriously, like real. I just lost a ton of weight, and I was in that mindset, and it was a very dark night of the soul. And I almost died. It was just not good. But what was really cool, and a lot of women have had this experience that were anorexic, because part of anorexia is you have to weigh yourself every day, of course. And that was my morning ritual. And I stood on the scale, and I weighed, about 74 pounds. And I was as tall as I am now. Imagine me 30 pounds lighter. And so I stood on the scale, and this voice, which I think it was spirit, this voice came to me and said, you have to stop, because if you don't stop now, you will be leaving this world. And I turned it around like that. I started eating again, but I was still in a really bad place. And I always look at that as that's when my spiritual journey really began, because I was very cognizant of a void inside of me. And through some counseling and talking with my sister, was a great guide to me during that time, I realized that the void was God. And so it got me to start opening up to seeing this other side of myself. But and I've had other dark nights of the soul before I came to the desert, I lived in Santa Barbara, and I was in a really dark place. I had a decent job, really good job, and I had a boyfriend, and we broke up, and I just really went down for the count. Life became very meaningless, and I got like a nervous disease, and I couldn't hold food down, and I was very lost. And I went into therapy, and I got medicated and all that stuff. But life had no meaning. It was just done. And a friend of mine had moved out to the desert, and I came and visited her. And as soon as I opened the car door, I knew I was going to move there. It was such a mystical thing. It was like, you're going to move here. And so I moved to the desert. 9 months later, I moved to the desert, and my healing began. My body healed, and my mind healed. And about maybe 4 months later, I found the center. So it was an amazing journey. But that dark night, we always talk about the dark night is something that is fertile ground for spiritual growth, and to not fear it, not dread it, but to use it as a diving board to something that's opening up within yourself, because something inside of you is just no longer serving you, and it's time to open up to new life. And so that's, I honor anybody that's going through that. And I've learned from mine. Great things have happened from my journeys through that darkness.
Right on. Yeah. Thanks for sharing that. It's having gone through some as well, myself, I think probably as long as we're a human being, we're going to experience it at some time. Some point. The spiritual travelers sometimes want to deny the dark night of the soul. Try to bypass it or think that it's not supposed to be happening to me because of my spiritual practice or whatever. I'm doing the right things. What's going on? But it's absolutely part of the path. It's something that and a challenging part of it. But I think if we look to it all, the historical figures, a lot of our spiritual heroes and things like that, they walked through dark nights of the soul.
Yeah, absolutely. And I reframe it. Because I wrote, you guys might know, I wrote a book called Fear to Faith. And one of my entries is about it. I came to this realization when I was writing that it's really not the soul that's dark, it's our mind that's dark. And that's really where the darkness is, because our soul's always fine. It's intact, it's good, but our mind gets dark. And that's where the work is, to open up to that light and bring life back into a better place for ourselves. But I agree with you. I think the dark night brings up such richness for life, if we can look at it as something positive rather than something to fear and turn away from, because it's part of life. It really is.
So is that what you'd offer? I know plenty of people are probably walking through that right now, feeling isolated, cut off, the COVID, there's a lot of fear. Is that what you would offer folks that are walking through that right now? Is there anything else you Reverend Dale, as a minister, people obviously will look to you for comfort and guidance and things. What would you offer right now, folks that are walking through a dark night of the mind, as you would call it?
Yeah, get support. Don't go through it alone. That's just very challenging. Reach out to somebody. I mean, we've got practitioners and ministers. We've got groups that we're forming with the Power of 8 and the social aids. Get connected with other people. That really helps, because you'll see that you're not alone. And that's part of the bummer of the dark night of the soul. When we're feeling alienated and we're alone, we can get stuck in that dark night. But if we reach out to others and talk to other people about it, then we start to come out through it. So reach out, please. Yeah.
What how about some of the more exhilarating, celebratory moments of your life? Shifting from the dark to the light, if you will. Not that one's good and one's bad. There's great purpose in both. The seed has to be in the darkness in order to create new life. What are some of those moments in your life of new life, of the great celebrations?
Oh my goodness. Well,
some of the best of times. The best of times. Well, I had a lot of fun in school when I was in grade school. I was a gymnast, and I got to go to I placed really high in one of the events. And so I went to like this, I don't know, it was an all city competition, and I placed third in vaulting. So that was a really exciting thing. I was a cheerleader. I was flexible and very physical. So I was a great cheerleader. And my first time out, when I auditioned, I hit #1 and got onto varsity, and I didn't even
I didn't even expect that. Let's see, what else did I do? I graduated college. Graduating from college was a huge success for me because it took me forever because I kept changing majors. And then I took a year off. And so when my poor parents, you know, they were so into education, which I'm so grateful they were. And when I quit college the first time, my dad like hung up the phone on me because he was so pissed off that I had done that. But it was so important. I needed that year off to clear my head out. I didn't want to have pressure of studying. And I came back really, really energized. And I decided to major in English, and I minored in psychology and cultural anthropology. And I finally went through it and graduated. And my parents were like, finally, we're so grateful. And I loved it because it was a huge achievement for me. Some other things. Well, becoming a practitioner was huge. That was like I have to be honest, it was one of the most meaningful things I've ever done in my life was a practitioner, and maybe even more than a minister, because it was something, being a practitioner kind of, well, here, let me go backwards. When I was about 19 or 20 and I was in this group, it was like a group processing group with a counselor, and it was about what's your life purpose. And she put us in this meditation, and what came up to me for me was I want to be like a spiritual healer or counselor. And I was like going, oh yeah, that'll go over big in my family. So I put it aside. Yeah, right. Hi, mom and dad. Guess what? You what? Not a lawyer, Anyways, so I put it aside and I thought nothing of it. And then when I came into Centers for Spiritual Living and started taking classes, I realized everything was coming together. And not that, you know, being a practitioner, you're not a spiritual healer, but you're definitely assisting people in healing through their spirit. So that, you know, you can tweak it and say, well, maybe you could look at a practitioner as a spiritual healer because they work through spiritual tools and whatnot. But it's like everything kind of came together. So it's like I finally was in my life purpose. And that was huge for me because for me, as you know, we're all different. And for me, I was always really wanting to find my life purpose. It was like so nagging at me throughout my 30s and my early 40s. It was like, I've got to find this thing. And I found it finally. So to me, that was one of my greatest celebrations. When I, you know, passed my thing and when I got my stole and my license, it was like, I made it. I finally got this thing that I've been just yearning to be, and my whole life just opened up. So to me, that's the biggest celebratory thing I've ever had for me.
Cool. How long have you been a practitioner, Reverend Dale?
Let's see, it will be 12 years this month. Yeah, because I thought this is when I got, you know, that you go to a Silomar and the board says, okay, you're it. So I think it was 12 years ago this month, 2008.
Panels, yep.
Panels, yeah, yep. But I love it. I will always love being a practitioner. It's just.
Well, so what do you love about it?
I love watching people transform. I love somebody coming to me and telling me all this story and all this limitation. And I get to just say, that is not the truth about you. And I get to see their eyes light up. And I love to say, trust me. And they say, I don't trust you. And I say, trust me. And they say, okay, I'm going to give it a shot. And then everything changes. But that's really, for me, that's the joy is being able to watch people change in the face of them thinking it was absolutely impossible. So that's the joy for me. I just freeing people to be who they are. And it's the you know, I like the intimacy of getting to know people too. I love having that conversation and then being able to do the prayer and just telling people, you know, you're always held in love and just kind of being at that level for them. It's just a joy. And for me personally, it's everything that's meaningful for me. You've got the psychological, you've got the spiritual, you've got the philosophy. It's like all my favorite things all in one vocation. And that's why it's I think for me, why it resonates so deeply.
Love it. And I can personally attest to this community from day one, from when I got down here. Reverend Dale has been like my language police. If I'm walking center with limiting language or whatever, Reverend Charles, I mean, like, okay, I like her.
And it like comes out of nowhere.
But I mean, who wouldn't want those type of people? Friends hiring a practitioner, whatever it might be, it's humbling because all of a sudden your limiting beliefs are in your face. And that's what a practitioner does, right? I mean, that's what the way Emma Curtis Hopkins wrote. You mentioned some of Raymond Charles Barker, Dr. Ernest Holmes. No nonsense. This is the truth, right?
Exactly. And aren't we doing people a favor by telling them, by making them aware of how they're putting themselves in a box? I mean, really, ultimately, once they get over the anger and the defensiveness, it's all worth it.
I know, that's
Ay.
Dale, fine. I can't wait for the opportunity to call you on. I want to call you.
Right? Oh my goodness. Payback's a bitch. Oops, excuse me. Sorry about that.
Oh,
Beep.
What? Yeah, right. In the replay, put out.
Right.
Whatever. Hey, that's all. That's authenticity right there. I'm not concerned.
Yeah. Thank you.
Another interesting fact. Something.
Oh goodness.
Pop quiz. Interesting fact.
God, I don't know.
Deep.
An interesting fact about me. God, I don't. I got it. Am I that boring?
No. I mean, we can. There's other questions here.
Let's do other things. Let's do other things.
Let's do other things. I know that's.
There must be other. There's 99 comments I see there. There must be another one.
Well, a lot of them are thoughts too. So let's see. Who are the authors that have informed you more completely? I think we alluded to that a little bit. Do you want to say anything more about that?
I guess one other one, because I want people to read her book. Anita Moorjani, her book, Dying to Be Me, is a great book. I recommend everybody I ever see as a practitioner. It's a great book about understanding the eternality of life and how our thoughts create a disease in our bodies and how we can undo all that. It's a great story and she's so inspiring. So that's another person.
Awesome. Another one here is, what's the one question you wish someone would ask you?
Oh my gosh. That's a tough one.
We'll let you sit with that one for a moment.
Yeah, can I sit with that?
And so you get to come up with the question and the answer.
That's smart.
The one question you wish someone would ask you. All right. What's something that so you talked about practitioner studies. Can you talk about something else? We talk a lot about manifestation in our teaching, about demonstration. What's aside from the practitioner studies, because we talked about that, what's another thing that you feel very, and I'm going to use the word proud on purpose, that you feel really proud or good about that you've manifested in your life?
Oh my God, so many things. I had a really cool manifestation. Actually, was being a practitioner. When I worked, people don't know this. I was a 9-to-5-er for when I first became a practitioner. So I would work a full-time job, and then I would do my practice. I'd meet with people on the weekends or after work. And I really wanted to be able to be a practitioner full-time or have a substantial income from it. And I was telling one of my clients about it because we were just chit-chatting, and my client gave me $10,000, and she goes, and I thought that was a huge demonstration. And I thought, there's my sign that it's time to move in that direction. And I did. And I thought that was a huge, huge demonstration.
Awesome.
Yeah. I had a really gigantic demonstration too. My mom passed away in 2018 after a very lengthy illness, and my sister and I were her caregivers. And my life really just like cracked open. It was like just things kind of like started accelerating. And I was renting a home for like 13 years. And the landlord said he wanted to sell the house. It was like everything just kind of like opened up. And it was so cool because a friend of mine got me connected with a realtor, and we went looking for houses, and I found like the perfect house, and everything just like fell into place. And I felt like I was just demonstrating upon demonstrating after she made her transition. And some people say that after someone close to you passes away, really interesting things can happen, and that happened. So that was just like a cavalcade of amazing demonstrations of good and shifting and changing, and me getting put in different places that I needed to be. I moved closer to the center. It was just extraordinary. And what I like to teach people about demonstration is, because sometimes I think we get so hooked into this thing demonstration. If you pray for the thing and the thing appears or this appears. And I like to go bigger than that. If you are maintaining a consciousness of positive expectation, and that's where I've really come to be, well, for a while now, just being in that place. So I don't even really have to pray for something every time. I can just be in that spaciousness. And so when need be, it arrives, just because I've got that expectation that my needs are always met. And I think I heard Beckwith recently, he called it the conscious, oh, it's so cool. The consciousness of needs provided for. I love that. Maintain the consciousness of all needs are provided for. Then they are. And I think that's where, I love prayer, and prayer is definitely something to do, but I think it's even bigger to develop a consciousness of expectation and just knowing that your good is always, always right there for you. And then it is. And then life gets really just bigger.
So you live in it generally, that consciousness of expectation. And then when a specific need, whether it be financial, health related, whatever, you can zero in on that, but you're coming from that well.
Exactly. I think that's really what we need to be teaching people, in addition to prayer, because I think it's bigger than just prayer. I think it's a consciousness thing too.
Amen.
Yeah.
We're starting to get close to the top of the hour.
Okay.
What generally do you want our community and the folks listening to know about you, your commitment to our center specifically? And what do you see over the next, I know there's a lot of change happening. What do you see as a minister? Let me start. Let me comment here, and then I'll get back to my question. How familiar are you with Dr. Joe Dispenza, and what are your key takeaways?
I love Dr. Joe Dispenza. I think he is cutting edge. I think he's happening. What we're seeing in our world right now is there's a lot of people, especially the younger people, that are totally turned off by religion. And Dr. Joe Dispenza, I think, is filling that. And it's not just young people, it's people of all ages, but a lot of young people. And I think he's bridging that gap, because what he's really teaching are the basics of metaphysics, but he's doing it without the religious verbiage. And I think he's absolutely brilliant. I think he is spot on. I love his philosophy, because he's really about the mind-body connection, and he's teaching us about the plasticity of the mind, and that through his meditations, which are wonderful, but any meditation, he's really teaching us how powerful we are through the use of our consciousness. So I encourage everybody to read him. I've read many of his books, and I think he's extraordinary. So love him. Yes.
Right on. Cool. Okay, so back to the question. Do you see yourself teaching any of his classes?
Absolutely. Yeah,
Okay.
Either teaching them or integrating it into, because that's what I tend to do, is I'll integrate stuff into a theme class. But yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so what do you want folks to know about you generally, and specifically for the center? What's your unique contribution? Where do you see us in the next 12 months? How do you see things unfolding based on your ministry and your participation?
Yeah, I see us continue. I think I see really great things coming, especially all of this work we're doing virtually right now. I think that we are just powering up to, when we come together, there's going to be such an excitement and a joy in being together, because we're all going to appreciate being in the same place together so much more based on this experience. And I see ourselves deepening ourselves spiritually. And I think there's going to be more of a curiosity, and I think classes are going to fill up more. I really do. I think we're going to have more people in classes, because I think what a lot of people have been left with is a need to know more about who they are in a deeper way, and their ability to use these spiritual tools. So I see our center and all centers as being a bigger place of teaching and empowering people to live a life that is just extraordinary. And I see us being on the cutting edge of that. And for people to know about me, I'm right there. I'm right there with you. And as a minister, I just want you to know that I am approachable, because some people think I'm not approachable, and I don't know why that is. I must do something, or maybe there's whatever, but I am approachable. And yeah, I get really busy. Sometimes I may seem like I'm looking like in a different direction, but I am so there for you. Every person who stands in front of me, I see you as a unique expression of God, and you've got my attention, and I love you, and I am here for you. And everything that I have learned and that I am, I would love to just give it to you, whatever you want. And so I just want people to know that I love working with people. I love expanding consciousness, and I just really love being there for you. So, and my ministry, you know, I don't know where it's going, but I know it's going in a big place, and it's going in a place that is just going to be an open space for people to learn and expand themselves. So I just see more teaching, more group work, more supporting the center, and being a part of this amazing growth that we're all in together. All of us are rising up. So
There are. Love it. That's so
there you
cool.
go.
Awesome. No, that's great. You so if folks want to get in touch with you, reach out, they want to do a practitioner session, hear more from you, how can folks do that? People.
You can either I guess call this here come the ums.
Yeah.
I've been waiting for them. They exist.
Call the center.
Call the center. They'll give them your number, and I will call you, and we can talk. And you know, I've got groups, just a plug. I've got two. Oh, thank you, Jeff. He posted my my email address there. You can reach me there. Also, I have, people don't know this, I have two spirit virtual sacred circles, which are groups of people like-minded come together. We talk about where we are in life. I do prayer, and it's just turning into such a lovely, loving, wonderful, uplifting community. I've got one on Thursdays at 9 a.m. and one on Saturday nights at 7:30 p.m. If you're interested in that, I'll send you, get in touch with me, and I'll get you your links so you can be a part of that. So
cool. So
there that is.
Well, I know that I have felt incredibly supported by you since I got here 7 months ago, and that you are, you're a pillar in our community. And it is a supreme blessing to have, to walk with you, to work with you, to be on the team with you, and to see what we're going to be up to as things continue to unfold. So
awesome.
Thanks for spending this time with me too.
Thank you. It was so fun. I love it.
For all the 6 a.m. calls that we did to record Sunday services, Dr. Laura's coming back into the loop, but we had some good early mornings too.
We did. We had fun. We had fun. Now, Dr. Laura can have the fun now.
Yeah, for a little bit. You're good taking a break for it.
Yeah, I'm taking. Oh, I'm back. I'm going to be back. Okay. Just kidding.
Well, we want everybody to get involved, some skin in the game.
Absolutely. I love it.
So just a couple announcements, and then we'll say bye. There's these comments keep coming in here. We're much love, Reverend Dale. I agree with your last statement. There we go. Okay, cool.
Thank you, everybody who listened, by the way. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you all for being here. Absolutely. We tomorrow we continue to move through the book, How to Be an Anti-Racist. I'm with Jafon. Love that. Love working with him, walking with him. It's a beautiful thing. So that's Tuesday. Wednesday, you'll see Reverend Dale's face again with the Sensational Six. Whatever cool stuff you guys have in store, I know it's a blessing to our community. Thursday, I'm with Reverend Cheryl Guess.
I guess Cheryl. Yeah.
Reverend Cheryl on Thursday, when I get to know another one of our new ministers, Reverend Cheryl Guess. Friday, it's Life on Love with me. We'll have some more special guests. And I hope you enjoyed last Friday when my mom popped on. I've got somebody else that's near and dear to my heart popping on Friday. So hopefully you'll enjoy that conversation as well. And I know at some point you want to jump on with me, don't you?
You should. Oh my God, from a child's eye view.
That's a child's eye view. That's right.
Yeah, that'd be so cool. Oh.
So let's see. We continue to appreciate your support of our center financially. Gang, you can text in your weekly offering. There's a link that I know that showed up right next to on the email blast that came out this morning. Go through the website. You can call into the center. We continue to be committed to being not only financially solvent, but financially thriving. And collectively, we do that together. So thank you so much for all that you share, and thank you for that which you will share. We're grateful for all of it, aren't we, Reverend Dale?
We are. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I love that whole thing, the law of reciprocity, because, when we give, we receive, and it's just this lovely circle. And you know what, every time I give to the center, it makes me feel so good, because I know I'm contributing us to thriving, just to keep on keeping on and expanding what we do. And so it's absolutely a joy. Honestly, for me, it's a joy to give. And I would love for everybody to get that, to see what a good thing it is.
Beautiful thing, right? It feels good.
It does.
In circulation feels good. We love to receive, And to feel good about giving too is a special thing. It's a special
It
relationship.
really is. Yeah.
Right on. Reverend Dale, have an extraordinary rest of your Monday.
You too. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Everybody else, much love, Godspeed. Make it the best day ever. See you soon. Tomorrow. Bye.